Good morning, Elmira Baptist Church. I'm glad you've joined me for the weekly update. It's April 15th, 2021. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday. This past Sunday, we had a couple people come and they were able to sit outside underneath the canopy. And just this morning, I got Roy's help and we tried out a new speaker with an amplifier, so we should be able to just crank that up so that you can hear me unless the train goes by. But other than that, you should be able to hear the singing and the preaching clearly. So let me encourage you, if it's not possible for you to come and sit inside with us, come and join us. You can sit outside. It's supposed to be just beautiful weather on Sunday morning. There'll be a canopy and you will be able to sit in the shade, so you won't be in the direct sun. We will continue to live stream, and this particular Sunday morning, we will not post the Sunday school lesson ahead of time because John Nordstrom is going to come and teach us at 9:45. So if you've been in the habit of getting up on Sunday morning and 8 or 8:30, taking a look at that Sunday school lesson and then coming in at 11, it won't be there at 8 or 8:30. It won't be there till 9:45. So let me just encourage you to come on in, 9:45, join us for John Nordstrom's Sunday school lesson. He's going to be teaching us his philosophy of gospel sowing. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be here at 9:45. Now we will record that also, so some of you have been in Jesse's class for your adult Bible study, and then you'll catch up with the Scotty's lesson later. You'll still be able to do that this coming Sunday. In the morning and in the evening, Brother John Nordstrom will preach on the mysteries of the kingdom from Mark chapter 4. So join us. In the evening, there'll be a missionary here from South Africa. Her name is Brittany Shear, and she'll be giving her testimony, showing her video, and then, of course, John Nordstrom will be preaching for us. So what that means is we'll be taking 2 love offerings. The first love offering will be in the morning for John Nordstrom, and then we'll have a second love offering in the evening for Miss Shear. Again, we will live stream 9:45, 11, and 5 o'clock on Sunday. The construction project is progressing. Walls are being built. They're currently leaving them lying on the ground, but I'm hoping they'll stand some of those up, and Sunday when you come, you'll see some of the walls already up. Some of the walls already up. Now, this is a multi-week project, so no, we're not ready to show off the building yet, but you continue to pray, as I am, for this building project. Here's a couple of announcements. We do need some drivers to take campers up to Wolf Mountain Camp this summer. I want to give you plenty of heads up. The first trip up there will be on the afternoon of Monday, July 12th. I know I said last Sunday the morning of July 12th. That's incorrect. The afternoon of Monday, July 12th. And then to pick them up, you'll leave on the morning of Saturday, July 17th, and return late morning, early afternoon. So that's afternoon of July 12th and the morning of July 17th. I mentioned before the Church One app, and if you have not yet downloaded that, let me encourage you to do that. That's going to be helpful to you. It alerts you whenever we start a live stream, which isn't such a big deal when you're able to attend in person, but especially those of you who are joining us virtually, it will alert you every time we start a live stream. It also will alert you when I post a new Sunday school lesson or I post a previous sermon to that site. And then it allows me to send you notifications. And so far, I've not even sent out 1 notification a week, about 2 or 3 notifications a month. But in an emergency, it'll give me a quick way to communicate with you. We still need housing for a musical ensemble that will join us on Sunday, May 23rd. And that'll be Saturday night and Sunday night now. This is a change. I have half of the places covered. I still need someone who can accommodate 2 girls and someone who can accommodate 3 boys. So let me know if you can help with that. Another reminder about Mailchimp. We've been using Mailchimp as a way to send out our emails to all of you, both on Thursday and on Tuesday. So if you get an email from Mailchimp, check and see if it's from Elmira Baptist Church. If it is, please do not unsubscribe. Because if you unsubscribe from Mailchimp, we cannot resubscribe you. It's an impossibility. You'll have to find a way to resubscribe yourself. And then finally, as far as announcements go, I understand that vaccinations should be opening up for all adult residents of California. And if you need a vaccination to rejoin us and need a vaccination to minister to the public, get your vaccination, get your second vaccination, wait those required 2 weeks, and then rejoin us. And again, we have an outdoor option now. So if it's more comfortable for you to come on Sundays, sit outdoors with just a few others, a handful of others in the shade, and hear the sermon through that speaker, please do that. Because afterwards, we can come outside and wave to you and say hello, and we really enjoy that chance to see each other in person. A couple of prayer requests. Pray with me that God would supply the funds that are needed to continue this building project, not just completing the outer shell, but also the interior. And pray that God will do it in a way that shows His great power and teach us faith. We build our faith by exercising that faith, by taking steps of faith, and then as we see God provide, reminding ourselves of God's good provision. So I'm excited about this building project. Second, pray for our missionaries, Brandon and Rose Song. They've had a series of difficult physical illnesses happen to them, injuries happen to them. First, Brandon injured his Achilles and then recently re-injured it. So be praying for him. And then we just heard last night that Lily, their 8-year-old daughter, has begun to have seizures. And they're quite severe and they're quite often. So she'll be under observation in a hospital for a week. Pray for the Song family, whom we support as missionaries. For our devotional today, take our Bibles, Judges chapter 1, and then we're going to flip over and look at Judges chapter 3. Judges chapter 1 and then Judges chapter 3. To set this up, I want to read to you just briefly an article that came out in July of 2017, so it's a couple years old now. I have a copy from Yahoo News. There were other news sites that also ran this. And the headline of this article is this. The headline of the article, 2017 article: Study disproves the Bible's suggestion that the ancient Canaanites were wiped out. Let me read to you, quote, "The ancient Canaanites were not wiped out, as the Bible suggests, but went on to become modern-day Lebanese, a study has found. Living between 3,000 and 4,000 years ago, the Holy Text suggests things did not end well for the people living in the Middle East. According to a passage in Deuteronomy, God had ordered the Israelites to exterminate the Canaanites. Quote, 'Ye shall not leave alive anything that breathes, but ye shall utterly destroy them, so that they may not teach you to do according to all their detestable things which they have done for their gods.'" End quote. It seems they didn't destroy them all, though. Examining the DNA of the region's ancient and modern inhabitants, the scientists found more than 90% of the ancestry of modern-day Lebanese derive from the Canaanites. Again, quoting from the article here, "The Bible reports the destruction of the Canaanite cities and the annihilation of its people. If true, the Canaanites could not have directly contributed genetically to present-day populations," end quote. The researchers wrote in the American Journal of Human Genetics. Again quoting, "However, no archaeological evidence has so far been found to support widespread destruction of Canaanite cities between the Bronze and Iron Ages. Cities on the Levant coast, such as Sidon and Tyre, show continuity of occupation until the present day. We show that present-day Lebanese derive most of their ancestry from a Canaanite-related population, which therefore implies substantial genetic continuity in the Levant since at least the Bronze Age." End quote. So that's the end of the article. What they had done was they had taken DNA samples from skeletons they found thousands of years old, compared that with DNA of modern Lebanese, and they said, wow, the Bible's wrong, the Canaanites weren't wiped out. Except they didn't read their Bibles very carefully, because here in Judges chapter 1, verse 21, it tells us this: the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites that inhabited Jerusalem. Verse 27 says, neither did Manasseh drive out the inhabitants of Bethshean and her towns, nor Tanakh and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Ibleam and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, but the Canaanites would dwell in that land. Verse 29, neither did Ephraim drive out the Canaanites that dwelt in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwelt in Gezer among them. Verse 30, neither did Zebulun drive out the inhabitants of Kitron, nor the inhabitants of Neheloi, but the Canaanites dwelt among them. Verse 31, neither did Asher drive out the inhabitants of Acco, nor the inhabitants of Zidon, nor of Alib, nor of Aksib, nor of Hilba, nor of Aphik, nor of Rehab, but the Asherites dwelt among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land. Verse 33, neither did Naphtali drive out the inhabitants of Bethshemesh, nor the inhabitants of Bet-Anath, but he dwelt among the Canaanites. And I flip over to chapter 3, and it says in verse 3, namely the 5 lords of the Philistines and all the Canaanites and the Sidonians and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon. So the Bible tells us clearly that there were Canaanites left. Now God had commanded the Israelites to drive them out, but they didn't. So these articles and articles like this that try to disprove the Bible only prove the ignorance of the journalists who didn't read carefully what the Bible had to say. But more than that, I want to remind us that this did not turn out, this disobedience on the part of the Israelites did not turn out well for them. First of all, they suffered from idolatry. The Israelites left the true God, the God of the Bible, the God who created them, the God who called them out of Egypt, and they began to follow the false gods of the people around them. This led them to evil practices, murdering their own children in a vain effort to manipulate the false gods that they worshipped, and other evil things that are recorded for us in the book of Judges. And finally, it led to oppression. The book of Judges is a cycle as the Israelites fall deeper and deeper into sin, and then the people around them oppress them, and then they finally call out to God and obey Him, and they are delivered. And that's where I want to end this devotional. Because even today, if we will call out to God and obey Him, He will deliver us. Now, we may not get everything we expect. I'm not saying that we can change national politics based on my individual actions, but I am saying this: I can call upon God and expect deliverance and worship Him and obey Him. Let's not focus on what all the people around us are doing. That's the mistake that the Israelites made. Instead, let's focus on what I'm doing. Am I loving God and obeying Him? When I'm in distress, when I'm in a difficult place, am I calling out to Him for relief? And let's focus on those things. I hope you'll join us on Sunday. As I mentioned, we will meet inside. We'll also meet outside, some of us. And then John Nordstrom will be with us all day. I'm looking forward to it. I hope I'll see you.